All right, welcome everybody, and nice to see that you're part of the Dutch Hacking Health initiative, where we're going to find new innovative solutions to fight the coronavirus. Well, this is one of the three team booster videos that would help to kick off your project. Well, my name is Damon. I'm a service designer and innovation trainer and coach at the Service Science Factory, and this is an innovation unit part of the University of Maastricht. So, what do I do on a daily basis? I practice design. I also lead innovation projects. I train professionals, but above all, what I do, I really love. I have a lot of fun because it also results in value where for customers, for instance, but also organizations. So we're going to kick off your project. And for some of you, this is a very new and exciting experience. So feel free also to pause the video, take notes, etc. when relevant, because you might need them along the way of your project. So to start off, it's very important to reflect and see that we need the right mindset, right innovation mindset. Maybe some of you are very familiar with that. For others, it's quite new. I can tell you a lot about the innovation mindset, but I think you will also experience it throughout your project. I will give you a lot of tips and tricks throughout these three videos. A second thing is that we also need to structure ourselves in a good way. So an innovation process is also very important. I'm going to provide you with one which can give you some structure. You can deviate from that, but I would really urge you to have also proper reasoning for making those decisions. And lastly, I'm going to give you some practical tools which you can use in the structure to, for instance, create new ideas, to, for instance, validate them or prototype them, but also acquiring the input from, for instance, the people that you're trying to help. What we need to be aware of is that this is a quite unique situation. The coronavirus makes this hackathon stand out from others. And why is that? Well, on one hand, it is of high relevance. All the challenges that you have sent in are of high relevance. Organizations are struggling, people are hurt, for instance, when we want to help them, and the need is quite high. So, whatever we do is of high relevance. The second thing is that what we do, there's also certain time pressure on that, right? So the longer we wait, the situation might even worsen. So we need to act fast in some cases, and there are also in other cases there are also only a limited time frame. So we need to be aware. Okay, when can we actually act? Which is something we need to be very aware of. And a third aspect, which is makes this hackathon quite unique, is the mobility aspect. Right? So in our country at this moment, social distancing is in place. We might go into a full lockdown, which also makes it impossible for us to meet physically as a team, but also to meet, for instance, important stakeholders face to face, or for instance, the target group. So this is an extra challenge, but I think the relevance pushes us also to be more creative in how are we going to go through this innovation trajectory. Well, under time pressure, we become some of us become very good problem solvers in the sense of they come up with very creative ideas, and they feel new ideas can really create a lot of energy, a lot of optimism. So these first ideas they feel good, but we need to be aware that they are not a guarantee for success. We need to be critical, and we need to make sure that we don't get tunnel vision. We need to listen to others. We need to also further develop our ideas during this process. So you can see it a little bit as this. You have on one hand, you're standing with a generic challenge and you want to move to a specific solution. You maybe come up with an idea, but when people try to predict the success of a solution, and it is very important, they often fail. And they often fail because they might not have understood the challenge correctly, or maybe the challenge is bigger or the context is more complex. And the idea might sound good, but there are a lot of details, specific aspects of the idea that need to be further worked out, or things that haven't been thought about when people maybe come become aware of once the idea is already implemented. And maybe then it's already too late. So this is where I think design thinking can really help as a methodology. So as an innovation methodology, which has a mindset, the process, and the tools to help you go through this process. And one of the important ways of looking at design thinking is this Venn diagram that you see over here. And with design thinking, you always start from a human point of view. You always have to be very clear on for who are you actually going to go on this journey. So who are you trying to help? What people or what organization or maybe other stakeholders? What are their needs? What are their ambitions? What are their challenges? What are their limitations, etc. So really, it's important to get their perspective into your project, that you are making sure that you're focusing on the right challenge. So from there, you can already come up with innovations, but it's also very important to look at the second aspect, which is, for instance, technology. So look also to the feasibility of your idea. Is it very straightforward what you thought of? Or is it maybe more complex? Or does it maybe even use technology which is not yet fully developed? So these can be limitations, or this can be opportunities you need to be aware of. So how is this innovation going to be realized? Is it feasible? And the third aspect is the business, or maybe better said, organizational perspective, where we're going to talk about the viability. The question is, are you going to deliver the service yourself or the product? Or do you maybe need a hospital to help you out, or a different kind of stakeholder, the government? So you're gonna ask them also to participate in the realization and implementation of your solution. Um, do they have the resources, the financial resources? How is their infrastructure? These are all things that we need to be aware of. We're gonna ask things about stakeholders. Are they able to deliver? Do they maybe have different priorities? Those things all play a role. And it's not only if customers or patients or stakeholders want a certain thing that we just can or need to deliver. We need to be aware of, is it feasible, and is it also viable? Can we actually deliver that? Um, and if this is all in balance, then we also have to see, well, is it actually usable? Our customers or patients or the people that we want to help, are they actually able to work with this solution? And not only them, but also, for instance, medical staff, people from the organization, employees, etc. Okay, so design thinking as a methodology can help to, on one hand, define the right challenge, really help you to get from a generic challenge and really make it more concrete what's the actual specific design challenge. And we get to that later in the second video. Another aspect to also work with design thinking is that it really can help to solve the challenge right. Don't focus on only one idea, maybe come up with multiple ideas. There are various tools, methods, ideation, brainstorming techniques that you can use to gather more ideas, but also prototype them and validate, and making sure that they actually drive the impact that you're looking for. So the double diamond is a process within design thinking that is often used. We'll go more in depth during the second and the third video. But basically, the first time is all about understanding the context, and the second one about designing the solution. So we move from a yes we can to a yes we did. Cool. All right. So a hackathon, I talked already a lot, but a hackathon in the end is all about doing. It's not only about coming up with ideas, and it's not only about doing research, etc. In the end, it's all about actually delivering and creating impact. So before you embark on this journey, really make sure, look at yourself, reflect, and see your personal commitment. Are you fully dedicated to this project? And are you able to also put in the time and the effort that is needed? Well, that is needed from your side, but that is also needed from your other team members. So also make sure you have commitment from the whole team. Be also very transparent about this, what you can and cannot provide to this project. Well, from there, you also need to see, well, you have formed a team that is committed. Do you have all the right expertise there? How are you going to divide the roles? So you might need a person that maybe can more lead the project or facilitate the whole trajectory. Maybe some of you have already experience with that and they can take the lead there. Maybe others are more experts. They know the context, they know the patients, for instance. They can really provide valuable insights into that. And maybe others are more makers. They can, for instance, create apps or they can create a product. They have a 3D printer. I'm just calling out some stuff here. And it's very important that you divide those roles once you have the commitment. But you need to also make sure that you find a certain way of working together. Um, a lot of ideas, research, etc., will be created in a short amount of time, and you need to agree upon how are you going to work together. So, fixing on a digital workspace. The digital workspace is already provided via the organization, but maybe you have experience with a different kind of platform, and you want to work with that. Well, that's fine, but really agree upon that with your other team members. And it's also for yourself. We can only contain 7 things in our working memory. Some of us are a little bit more intelligent. Maybe we can have contain 2 more things. But what is very important is that you really create a space where you can hang up your ideas, where you can hang up your research, and that you surround yourself with your project. Well, lastly, go out with a plan. So, if you have acquired all the expertise, if you divided all the roles, yeah, you have to make a plan and also go out and get it done. So, the next 2 videos will also give you some inspiration to craft a proper plan and make this project a success. Well, so in the next video, we're going to focus on the first diamond, understanding the context, where, yeah, understanding and exploring the context. We're going to give you some tips, tricks, and tools. So we also dive a little bit more on how you can use reasoning and research to better understand the context, but also how to actually define a design challenge. We're going to really give you some practical tools there. And it's not only about the design challenge, but it's also about the criteria, the limitations and opportunities. More on that in the next video. But for now, I want to wish you good luck with your project. Have a nice day.